Sorry. It's been a long day. Needed to find a bathroom.
6:08.
Wow.
Meeting with the local hall. I'm here. First Smith, here. Giving the rose. Dave Marseille.
Here.
Public comments. Number two. Needs to try for adjustments.
None on the tax, none on the water side.
Okay. For agenda. Yep. I don't need any questions or comments. If not, I have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second. Speakers, aye. Aye. Okay, you can act on the districts. Draft fiscal 2024-25 operating budget.
All right, last month we presented the draft budget to you. One change that we did make was a request of Kent's recommendation or request to put in, I think it was 5,000 or 5,200 that we put in for large district maintenance. So we added that to the budget. Other than that, we did not add anything other than August financials, which were not available at the time. So no other changes. Adding and the just to point out something that we always talk about is you're looking at about 4.5 months of coverage up from last year. So that's ticking in the right direction. That's good. Yep.
What do we shoot? What's the goal?
12.
Oh, my.
Ideally.
My calculations, it takes about 6 years to get it right.
It depends. I mean, we put in some, projects in here. Depends on what other expenses you put in each year. Because you're gonna, on the revenue side, you're gonna be capped. And 3.5% of 4 cents is not, doesn't move the needle much, but so the bigger component that drives you is the expense side. But, if we can, try to, like I said, last month, we put it in, you still are able to increase slightly, yet do a couple projects, and still head in the right direction. I think that's a positive step forward. Correct. You'll have, essentially, you'll have, roughly about $750,000 in cash for the bump of the night stuff, over and above the budgeted item.
I thought you did a really great job. Verification on it.
Okay.
It looks like we got the change in that capacity of operations, 324, is that our surplus? I want to know, where did we put the surplus for the bond surplus? Is that it right there?
Yes, it's another revenue.
No,
324, 685?
right here.
Yeah.
It's on the front and the revenue side. GL code 4900. 4900 on the front and the white, on the white side.
On the white side.
Right. 4900. Whoop. 4900.
Oh, yeah. Other revenues.
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much.
If I remember right, there was some strings to pay, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
That's right.
I mean, that's essentially what we're gonna use portion of it to do some of the sewer repair, but yeah, I mean,
But the
that,
rest of it's already built in, it lowered the amount that you had to have operate.
correct. That's
So it's
exactly
baked
right.
in, so the fact that the area lower, already took it to account, making it surplus.
That's correct. That's correct.
And what one were you talking about on the back?
To be still repaired, that $258,000, 5,300.09.
Yes.
So it's a move in the positive direction. Get the additional mowing. in the budget too, so,
You gotta be.
yeah, it's in there.
Got one more. Anyway.
So we'll need a motion to approve the budget, for this.
Make a motion to use budget instinct.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, number 9, so we're not on policy. Or as RMS 12, rates for water service.
Yes, so RS 12 is there on page 18. That is the document that, documents your water sewer rates. So as I mentioned last month, there is no recommendation to change your retail water and sewer rate. But there was a change as was reported to you, last couple months on the GRP, SJ's GRP rate went down. And so that's documenting that decrease in rate. And so we need to document that and I need approval. So I think the blended rate went from 320 to 297. Which will amount to about, on the average water bill, about $27 a month, less on the water bills due to that. Yes, sir.
Say it's water and sewer rate, there's nothing on about water and sewer. Rate, it's something water.
What's the water?
Hmm?
What's the water rate?
Yeah, that's the water policy. Oh, excuse me. Did I?
No, what is the sewer charge?
That's not changing.
Yeah, there's no change to that.
River already can modify their, wholesale sewer charge, there wasn't a.
The change.
Retail rates.
No, it didn't want to sign. It's, yes, it's the rate, not hourly.
That's retail.
It's what we charge.
Yes,
That's the sewer.
we'll get you the RS for that document. It's not proposed because there wasn't any changes, that's why.
Okay.
So, but no changes proposed, but we can get you a copy of the latest. Okay, will do.
Motion on that?
Yes, on approving the revised RNS 12 to reduce the GRP rate.
I second that.
Those in favor? Aye. Regarding the district's intent to levy the 2024 tax rate.
All right, so this is the second step of our tax rate adoption process. Y'all covered the first step last month. Authorized publication of the proposed tax rate in the Conroe Courier. That tax rate that was published was 0.042951. That was published, correct?
Yes.
Then we need to adjourn our regular meeting and open the public hearing for any comments on the proposed 24 tax rate.
Meeting adjourned.
All right, so any comments from the public? There being no comments from the public, we can close the public hearing. All right, so that will close our public hearing and take us to item number 11, which is to consider the levy on the district's 24 tax rate. So the tax rate that I mentioned a second ago is comprised of 0.0115 for debt service and 0.031451 for maintenance and operations. So we need a motion to adopt those tax rates for debt service and maintenance and operation.
Motion, I want to make a motion to adopt the total tax rate of 0.0429. Which is 0.0051 less, which is, I understand the other two. Less. So we get less money. Like $350. $350. But anyway, everybody in the county has a 4-digit tax rate. It's out to 66. Yes, right, I heard that last time. Anyway,
So just.
motion on the
Just go
table.
ahead and file one.
Yeah, just got to know. Which is legal, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, you just can't go.
just 0.0341 for M and O.
I know, I moved it. 0.0421. Do I have a second?
3-1 for M and O.
All in favor? Aye.
0.31.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. How people vote. Yeah, please do. Okay, item 12, approval and execute an amendment to and restate district information.
So this also relates to your tax rate. The district information form is recorded in the property records and includes factual information about your district, including the tax rate. Now that we've adopted our 24 tax rate, you can update that form to reflect the new tax rate. Also, attached to that form that's recorded in the property records,
Just tell me.
purchasers that's provided to people when they buy property. It's just in there, close the table to notify that they're buying properties located in the district, what the tax rate is. Using a motion to approve the amendment to the district information form and authorize us to report the action property records.
Make a motion to approve the amendment to the amended information. Second. Those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay. 13, you can regular, report, including updates on operations, projects, and public outreach.
All right, well, good evening. I just have a couple items to go through. One is prior to the meeting, hopefully you picked up the financials for May and June. July should be coming the next month or so. There are still some glitches in the system, so I want to make sure we give you accurate data. So July will be coming. As a reminder, you do not get August financial until that's month-end close or year-end close. And so we include the entire year, including August, in the annual company, annual audit that you guys will get later. So there's your financial. Also, the project and the financials that are within your packet have been uploaded as well. As you go to that, those have been updated. We want to bring your attention to page 26. On page 26, when you get there, you will see a project that is highlighted in yellow. Projects that are highlighted yellow, meaning that project has closed out no more invoices. That allows you to check budget versus contract versus the invoice paid. But that's just an FYI. This project underneath that I want to talk to you about. Project underneath that is the owner's advisor for wastewater plant one. This is a project that was approved a couple of months ago, maybe about the comparison, cost comparison for the wastewater plant one. The trustees approved an amount up to, not to exceed $500,000. What you can see here is the budget shows to be $550,000. Next to that, you're going to see the contract amount of $559,000. That's a typo, that's incorrect. The budget is truly $500,000. And the contract is $499,000. I thought that out, it was already in the package, and so next month it will reflect proper, but we did honor what the trustees requested, and the contract and budget are set. And that is all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions? Attorney's report.
Nothing having to be attorney report, we wanted to go into closed session, but I wait for that.
Thank you, John. Brother.
Yeah.
You can act on the, general manager.
All right, good evening. Wanted to update you on the presentation that you heard last month about insurance. You're requested to just see what, and all the other modes have requested to see what it would look like to move your D&O coverage from 2 million to 3.4, 3.5, or whatever. I've made the right recommendation on the modes to adjust their limits from 2 to 5, and the resultant budget change or the resultant premium change is about $2,200. So that would be, and you're paying just under about 4 right now for 2 million. So I felt like it was a good deal, and I'm moving forward with that. Just want to let you know on that. The other thing that I've kind of hinted on, but I wanted to let everybody know is we are building a ditch condition assessment protocols internally to basically run the ditches more frequently. Part of the trustee approval of the budget last week included some, equipment to be able to do that a little bit more frequently, a little bit more, easily. So, we're gonna develop a regular condition assessment run through, so that might be quarterly or might be more often, and then immediate, after storm aftermath, review as well. We'll be putting that in motion here. As you can see, there's some building improvements and some differences that you will notice, and you'll continue to see some new differences, in and around the building and the complex. So, we're excited about that. That's also, with budgeted and moving forward with that too. So it'll be something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow we're having, there's a lot of old leaks here. This building does leak, from all over, but, actually tomorrow we're gonna be doing the,
Ceiling tile.
ceiling tiles. That's in the contract to change those out as well. So, more to come on that. The other thing I had was just to kick it over to John for the communication update.
Everyone. Page 47, is your communications report for the month. So we're in September, so that starts the fourth quarter of our strategic plan. Focus area being value. We were highlighting conservation through the summer. Now we shift over to value. Infrastructure renewal communications. Connor Stokes is here from Holloway. He's going to give you a presentation on that in just a minute, so we'll skip that. Heads up that the September water bill, it will be highlighting the reduced water bills for the typical residential customer in the coming year because of that surface water. We are expanding our social media presence. We've got a couple new outlets where we're doing some paid advertising through positive returns on engagement with those ads, driving people to our website for more information about our customer support programs, conservation tips, and so forth. And we're going to be adding Instagram as well here in the next couple days. Yeah. Current market materials here in the next couple of pages. We did, there on page 50, you'll see that we had that kids art contest going. So that was conservation focused contest. Every drop counts with the theme. Tremendous entries from 3rd through 6th graders. We gave prizes out to the winners. Posted all the artwork on the website, and we'll be displaying some of that through some of our lobby outreach stuff that we've got in plan. And then your outreach calendar there at the end. Please join us at any of all these events. Love having directors out there. Then a heads up, we have a presentation coming up Thursday. It's Woodlands Green is sponsoring it, hosting it. But we're pushing it out. It's a presentation by Jason Ramage from the USGS on, it's a summary of annual water table data for the region.
Is water, what?
Waters, looking at aquifer levels.
Okay.
How they've changed over the year. He does that, been doing that annually with the Woodlands Green for some time. And so he's coming back next Thursday, the 26th, 7 p.m. We're going to send you an email directly ahead of time, so you have that information. You'll have that link. It's going to be on Zoom. It's a Zoom presentation. You just click the link and it'll take you right there. If you miss it, we're going to have it recorded and we'll have that available on our website.
And we'll serve popcorn when everyone comes in.
What's that?
And we'll serve popcorn when everyone comes in to see it. And the new screen we're gonna get in.
There you go. Yeah. Food party. Any questions?
Is the guy from USGS talking about ground level subsidence?
I don't know that he's going to get subsidence.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'll be presenting that data.
yeah, I don't recall. I saw a preview of this a couple months ago, and they may have had a slide or just talk about subsidence, but most of it was talking about static water levels of the well of the aquifers, and it's pinpointing all the wells in the Houston metro region. So it covers Harris County, Montgomery County, and the region. Oh yeah, yes, they analyze the data from all the different wells, public wells. Yeah, Chico, Evangeline, and Jasper are the three major ones in this region. That's the name of the aquifers. In Montgomery County, a little bit north of here, there were some districts that were able to get to the next aquifer down, which is the kind of, it's been built their own GRPs based off those wells. They were nearing 3,000 feet, in the 2 to 3,000 feet. I drove, I think, 3 of them, in my previous job.
Woodlands Board, how many people, what sort of percentage of users were signed up for Woodlands Board?
For WaterSmart?
Yeah, what are some?
Yeah, so we just crested 70%.
Really?
Yeah, so we sent out some messaging on that, congratulating the community and encouraging the other 30% to get on board.
We were at 19% when I started.
All right.
What, it's not me, but that was my line in the sand. And we've worked really hard. But it's a huge tool, especially for leaks,
The main thing. Yes. Just whole system, the whole living water, nobody even called any problem. I don't find out anything. It's big.
It's still called a township sometimes, but we're
Yeah, that
chipping
is,
away at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's going to receive an update on the public outreach campaign. Highway consultant, select committee work. Working group member.
Yeah, so last month we mentioned that we would have Holloway here to talk about kind of what's been going on through the PDC. The PDC's been working over the last year with Holloway communications firm to help build the structure and basically the structure of the infrastructure campaign, which is essentially to educate the community about aging infrastructure, what you're doing now, what might occur in the future, those types of things. We're kind of up to now, it's been kind of building structure and now we're moving into more of the implementation phase. There's a website that's been developed, and I thought it'd be a good idea, since we're in the implementation phase or about to have Holloway come here and talk to you a little bit about what we've been doing, the website itself, and then where we're going. So with that, Connor Stokes is here tonight to give you the presentation.
And we will go to the website, but before you do that, we'll do a presentation.
Your eyes.
That's your eyes.
Oops. Great.
But not that.
There it is.
There we go.
Just a little loose. Oops, sorry.
All right, so just wanted to give you all some background about our firm. We're a Houston-based firm. We were established about 30 years ago. We were established at that point as an environmental consulting firm only. About 20 years ago, we identified a need in the public involvement space, particularly as it relates to the National Environmental Policy Act, and public involvement associated with that. Since then, we've really expanded our communications practice, growing in strategic communications, and creative services. We do most of our work in the greater Houston area. However, we also work throughout the state, and we do a lot of coastal planning, communications along the Texas Gulf Coast. Here in the Houston area, we serve Harris County Flood Control District, Harris County Engineering Department, Metro, among many others here locally. We also support agencies at the state level, like the General Land Office, Water Development Board, and also at the federal level, with things like the U.S. I just listed a few current and past projects there, just to give you an idea of kind of things we can come up with. That next project, Harris County Flood Control, I think partnership with FEMA is looking at remapping the floodplains throughout Harris County. And then we've been involved with the Coastal Texas Project, which you may have heard of in the news, is the ACTITE study phase. So just to name a couple there. So what is Water Renewable Woodlands? Water Renewable Woodlands is a collaborative effort by Woodlands Water, the MUDs, and SGRA, focused on long-term modernization and rehabilitation of water and wastewater infrastructure. Project sources are from the SGR's 10-year project plan, as well as additional projects from, that have been identified by Movement Water. Our objectives here are transparency in our communication, education of the public and Movement Water customers, as well as public engagement, providing public engagement opportunities and opportunities for the public. And of course, we want to ensure efficient, reliable water and wastewater services and maintain that infrastructure soundness. So how did we get to today? We were brought on board last year and in fall of 2023, we began our work with a needs assessment. That needs assessment looked at the ways in which Movement Water and Asteria communicate externally to the public and their customers. So we looked at websites, advertisements, really all external communication that we can get our hands on, and even media coverage of both entities to just gain a better understanding of general public perception. So this needs assessment really served as a foundation for our communications plan, which is our next step. And that plan outlines a clear strategy and serves as a guide for implementation. So within that, we outline methods, tools, tactics for communication, but we also identify internal processes to make sure that we as a consultant team are working in lockstep and in alignment with WWA and public education. So as Eric mentioned, we are right on the doorstep of implementation. A big part of that is the website that we'll be going through. And just before we do that, I just want to highlight our logo there. Our brand identity. That was our first step in implementation and creating that brand identity. I'll just take a step back to the needs assessment there. Water was really great in providing us, a lot of the feedback that they've gathered through surveys over the past few years, and through going through all of that information, we realized that there was a decent amount of uncertainty and some confusion around roles and responsibilities. Who's doing what as far as SGRA, Movement Water, and limits. And so we really wanted to create a separate brand identity where we could have all that information in one place. Of course, provide clear linkages back to all of those respective entities. But we wanted to create like a one-stop shop for everyone to provide or get more information and be educated and provide that transparency and clarification on doing what and what responsibilities are. So just real quick before we dive into the website itself, the purpose of the website is to serve as a central hub for information. So we, in all of our external communication as we move forward, we'll be linking back to this website. We want the public to see this as a trusted source of information and to be able to go here to get regular updates and trust that information, as well as provide feedback. We really want it to be our main mechanism for the public to provide feedback. I just wanted to point out that the website that you'll see, we do everything in very close coordination with Water and the public education committee, as well as SGRA. So everything that you'll see from us, including the website, has been through a lot of discussion, a lot of rounds of review before you get down to the point. And then just lastly, I just want to acknowledge that the site as it stands today will not always look as it does today. We realize that projects have not completely been identified. Funding mechanisms are still needing to be determined. All of these things. So the website as it stands now is at a fairly high level, and it'll grow as things are further determined moving forward. And then lastly, just want to note that we'll be looking for opportunities to make that site more interactive, provide calls to action to the public member that's in that site. But with that, we'll jump into the website and do it.
In the last module, will you have a calendar of events or possible public hearings in that module?
Yes.
Excellent.
My contract actually right now is with very. There are some things happening in the background. I'll let Eric speak to that. But it looks like potentially that would service to water. All right, so here is our landing page, our home page for water renewable movements. As I mentioned before, just briefly, everything that you'll see here is at a high level. Again, we don't have projects, all the projects identified, all the funding mechanisms in place, all those things are not yet identified. So we keep it at a fairly high level. And this up at the top is really intended to tell a story, set the stage for what we're talking about. And this graphic right here on the top right is an example of the town life cycle and how the critical decision any critical decision point a community like let's navigate as something like scrolling down on our landing page. So why now? Just like the title suggests, this is really explaining why it's important to start thinking about infrastructure updates and renewal at this point. Going further, who's involved? Again, getting back to that assessment, we really want to create transparency around roles and responsibilities, create clear linkages back, make sure everyone understands who's involved. So these two icons up here link back to those respective websites. The Woodlands Water website, SJR's website will link back to this one. And then we have this infographic here on the homepage really illustrating again, who is responsible for what. Just want to do our best to clarify and encourage transparency around those responsibilities. So what's included? Again, like I mentioned, projects have not yet been identified. And so really what we're trying to do here is just explain the criteria, if you will, on how, once we get to that point, how projects would be determined and prioritized. So here at the bottom, we're using updates. This is where news releases would be posted, other relevant articles from the media, if we so choose to post them up there, would be placed. And then here at the bottom, stay in touch. Like I mentioned, we want this to be, the central source for public feedback. And so you'll see a lot of forums throughout the site. We want to make it as possible to sign up for email distribution lists. Submit comments, submit questions on those things. So moving over to about the plan. This goes into a little bit more detail about, what could possibly be included as far as projects going forward. But again, still at a high level, we're not listing any particular projects or anything at this point. So this infographic is really getting at a key definition. What are we talking about when we talk about water infrastructure? So this just illustrates, some of that infrastructure, the public, is not quite sure what we need. Of course, renewal plan benefits a big part of any endeavor. I imagine, just like yourself, most of the public is going to want to know how does this plan benefit me? How does it benefit, my family? So that outlines the benefits, and then just move along down. This graphic is talking about asset life cycle. This really highlights how delays in updating infrastructure could lead to reactive maintenance. And then here at the bottom, water is serious business. We do have a couple of infographics here, just really highlighting how water, is the lifeblood of our communities and our economies. Moving along to the About Us page. So again, really wanting to be transparent, provide that clarification on who's responsible for what. So we have a lot of information here about Woodlands Water and SJR. And then we move down into this, again, another really cool infographic. And this time, we're trying to illustrate not only the differences, but those linkages and how these entities work together in their various roles and responsibilities. And just have some more information again, getting into a lot of detail there. And you'll see that same infographic on the page. So FAQs, frequently asked questions. This page will be definitely dynamic as we go forward. These questions are representative of, everything that we as a consultant team, the PEC, could think of, and to try to anticipate as best we could questions as we move forward from the public. But as we have engagement on events, as we notice trending topics, this page will definitely expand with more questions like we know are being asked.
Scroll down the button. Missing, what's the snow cost?
And that's probably the most important question of all, that any person that comes on, and this is all great and fine, but how's this gonna impact you?
That's a great point, and we're just not quite there. So get involved, in learning. I don't think we'll go through all of these pages, but, these are, again, just more opportunities. We want to make it really convenient to, provide comments, sign up for our email distribution list. So there's, several different forms here, on this get involved page that are very similar. And then, we do have an event calendar under this page, where, you know, there's nothing here just yet. But as we move forward, you know, we'll be looking to leverage, you know, ongoing community events, have you know, a presence of those things. We'll schedule our own, you know, larger public meetings, and we'll have, you know, more targeted meetings as well. And so we'll list all those things. The media page, this is intended to be, a central place for the media. We want the media to be, have a good understanding of what we're up to, and to, be able to have access to, you know, all the relevant materials and information to be able to. That's important. Doing as well. So, press releases will be posted here, fact sheets, other information and materials as they become available, will be there, as well as, you know, their contact information. Then
What's
again,
Eric Houston's, email, please?
Well, for this, it's that.
Oh.
This will be gone.
Yeah, we're gonna clean that up.
This will be
we
gone.
changed it.
But the community will have the ability to send in comments, questions, sign up for stuff, and there will be, those emails will be coming to us, and so we can see. We want to be able to respond to the community, you know, questions and things like that. So
So again, another contact form, and then we do have the find here, but, folks who explain, I don't know, what they want.
What is the website? Woodland Water Renewal? My little stuff.
Water renewable woodlands,
So that's the website.
Mhm.
They can search.
and it'll be on a link on our homepage tomorrow when it gets rolled
I
out.
do a Google search.
It will once it goes live. I don't know if it will at the exact
Oh,
one.
it's not live.
No,
No.
tomorrow it goes live tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow when you look it up, it should, yes.
But, just, you know, another thing to know, we are working on incorporating a survey, to the website as we speak. So that'll be available tomorrow when it launches. And we really want to create, an opportunity for the public to provide feedback immediately. You know, we don't want to just have the website there without, you know, providing a call to action, and really engaging with visitors to the site.
And the survey will ask them, did you know anything about this?
Do you, yeah.
Yeah.
generally.
Heard anything about this?
And the traffic you expect to see on this.
So I guess that'll get to my next point. We're not going to launch it passively. So whenever this is launched tomorrow, we will be sending out, you know, e-blasts, in coordination with Woodlands Water. We'll be sending out a news release. There'll be social media messages, related to water renewable woodlands on both Woodlands Water, social media platforms, as well as SGRA. Those are our immediate steps for tomorrow. And then over the coming weeks, we'll be coordinating with Eric and John to get awareness messages, water bill messages, and, you know, Woodlands Water Weekly, as well as a few other. So we will be doing a pretty robust campaign around bringing awareness to the site, and opportunities to engage with us here. Looking out a little further, I did mention, you know, community events, open houses, target stakeholder meetings. Those are all things that we're trying to schedule. So the last thing that I will touch on is the community working group. No, there's not a lot of information on the slide here about that. So I did just want to go provide an overview of that before I wrap up. And that working group is intended to be representative of each MUD, as well as each village association and then the business community. So we'll be reaching out to the chambers of commerce for representation as well. In addition to those groups, we'll be extending invitations to local elected officials for their participation if they would so choose. And then we'll have participation from Woodlands Water, of course, SGRA, the township. The purpose of this working group is to establish a regular dialogue with the community, really better understand community concerns, and then leverage those relationships among everyone on that group to help distribute information as it becomes available and help us mitigate disinformation as we hear it at the community development too. As far as the meetings themselves, logistics around those things, we are anticipating that working group meetings will be held on a quarterly basis. We want to make sure that when these meetings are scheduled, we have a very clear purpose and we're not wasting any more time by having nothing important to talk about. With that said, we do want the working group members of that group to feel some level of ownership of that group. And so we are certainly open. We want to be flexible to have meetings more frequently. As there are times where critical decisions need to be made as best. We want to be flexible and be open to meeting more frequently or things like that, so we can make sure that we have meaningful discussion.
Connor, this sounds like a really large group, and I'm wondering, are we gonna be meeting at the pavilion or? Do we have an idea of where we might be meeting?
It's just about 20 copies. Fine, but then you can probably do that upstairs, but I will look at it.
We're still location is still to be determined. We'll be jumping into those details, but you do bring up a good point.
I'm interested because I volunteered for that committee, okay?
But we do want it to be a relatively small group.
Okay.
We don't want it to be, a forum where it's so large that we can really only provide information and talk at people. We want it to be a forum for discourse and discussion, and we want to be able to have that open back and forth dialogue. And so it's very intentional to keep it to a manageable size. It doesn't turn into just information sharing. We want it to be a
And I did have in my notes from before that you had volunteered for that. Is that?
Let me clarify, this is a volunteer position.
Right, it's not a paid, it's a volunteer.
In other words, it's like a V.
No per diem.
That's what I'm trying to, volunteer.
Okay. I mean, I think by law,
Yeah, you're eligible, but whether director takes that for the or not is at the discretion of the director.
I'll make a motion. Volunteer position. Second.
Make a motion for just this month. No,
No, this is just our money. And most people,
so whoever volunteers doesn't get a per diem, that can't get a per diem.
In that 36.
about 36.
So I think you can make a motion to appoint a committee member thinking upon that person voluntarily agreeing to not accept the per diem. The board can't take action to make someone ineligible. What we can say is we appoint someone, whoever that person is, contingent on that person waiving the fee for service donation.
Well, when I volunteered, I thought it was a volunteer position, but I did notice in the minutes, it said you and I volunteered. I thought you nominated me or
No,
I
I didn't.
accepted.
No, you made.
It says that you and I,
That's what I had
on
in my notes.
page 3, directors Desmarais and Maggart would like to be involved with the community advisory group.
Now, that was a different group. That was the Woodlands Quality. When they were talking about getting that group together strictly for having rebirth of the Woodlands Water Group. Not the water, the Woodlands Water Task. Force.
Oh, okay.
That's
Gotcha.
what I was in.
I got you.
Not sure.
Gotcha.
My degree's in communication, so I knew what I was volunteering.
Is that,
Put that into. Brian says, some notion of in mud 36. That position of getting volunteers. Sharing something about. All those in favor? I, no, I don't see why she shouldn't be. Okay. Welcome to the, look forward to the,
So this is a set website, so that is SJRA, Woodlands Water, and is there any reason, or was there any discussion about putting it under the Woodlands Water website? So that, you know, those that are already familiar with that website, looking at it, can find all this information there. I know this is linked, but why is it a separate website?
because it's brought together by that.
Because
I'm gonna say probably because it's the SJRA.
and this is,
Yes,
it's the contract is not here with Woodlands
Well,
Water.
originally, it's one of the now, turned over to.
well, just just the overall oversight of it.
It's your portion then. Women's water.
Correct.
Funds.
No, it's in their budget that you pay for, under your approved budget of them.
Well, I personally think that because this is about the renewal purpose, that it should be separate from our normal website where people are trying to check their usage, check their bills, find out what projects might be upcoming, but then the wholeness of the discussion of the project and why we're doing it should be separate, I personally.
Yeah, and it could eventually be a landing spot where there's an active project going on. Maybe it has traffic repercussions or things like that, then we could put that in. Here's what to expect. This is what's about to happen, blah, 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 whatever it is. So,
I mean, it's Woodlands Water. I mean, why wouldn't it be lumped together?
because people don't understand what we do. And that came out of the surveys.
It's
And
an
so,
educational.
right, it's trying to separate it into a specific educational and transparency piece on all things infrastructure.
I don't feel particularly strongly about it, but if it made the Woodlands Water renewal, usage, I mean, it's all part of the same package.
I just see it as a cost per user visit's gonna be an awful lot. I don't see a lot of people. I don't even, I'm, but anyway, it's gonna find stuff along it. It's got late.
Yeah, it will be. Yep.
Yeah, that's like.
By the time this unveil is done, no one should be able to say, I didn't know where to find it. 'Cause it's gonna be out there very quickly. But we can't track that though, so we'll be able to answer that. Absolutely.
And keep getting up like, we're smart.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. That's.
Well, the good thing is it's going to that same 70% and more. So, everybody will see it, that it's coming or that it's.
Water smart stuff to draw, what am I using, and that kind of stuff. I don't see this having to draw until you start telling me how much my water bill goes up. And then this is what you're doing with the money that's, I don't want to know.
All right, I appreciate it. We will get, Sharon, you're in. Thank you very much.
And I'm 17, see, we're one of the trustees report. Trustees reports in packet. Okay, recess the closed session. Everybody can actually.
Yes.
Closed session.
Yes. So we'll go ahead